Cooked rice, the hidden danger in a familiar meal for seniors. For many older adults, reheating leftover rice is a deeply ingrained habit. It's economical, convenient, and avoids the need to cook fresh meals every time. But behind that warm, fragrant bowl of rice lies a hidden danger that most people overlook. A risk that can further weaken an already fragile digestive system and, in some cases, lead to hospitalization. Did you know that plain white rice, a dish that seems simple and harmless, is actually an ideal breeding ground for Bacillus cereus, a type of bacteria that rapidly multiplies in starchy foods left at room temperature for too long? The real danger isn't the bacteria itself, but the toxins it produces. These toxins are heat-resistant and cannot be destroyed by reheating, whether in the microwaves or on the stove. When seniors consume rice contaminated with these toxins, they may experience food poisoning symptoms such as vomiting, diarrhea, stomach cramps, and dehydration. For older adults with weakened immune systems, these seemingly mild symptoms can lead to exhaustion, low blood pressure, or worsen existing chronic conditions like diabetes and cardiovascular disease. A cautionary tale. Mr. Tran Von Hung once left cooked rice at room temperature for over 3 hours before refrigerating it. After that experience, he completely changed his eating habits. He now cooks only enough for each meal. If there are leftovers, he cools the rice quickly by spreading it out on a tray, stores it in a shallow container, and refrigerates it within 1 hour. He also ensures that any reheated rice reaches a temperature of at least 165 degrees Fahrenheit, 74 degrees. Since then, he has not suffered from digestive issues again. Safety tips for seniors when storing and reheating rice. Tips: cool rice quickly after cooking, ideally by spreading it thinly on a tray or large plate. Refrigerate promptly to prevent bacterial growth. Store in a shallow, sealed container and label with the cooking date to avoid using expired rice. Reheat only once in just the amount needed and make sure it reaches at least 165 degrees Fahrenheit, 74 degrees. Consume within 24 hours to ensure maximum safety. Spinach, a superfood that can become a silent killer when reheated. Spinach, often hailed as a superfood in healthy diets, especially for seniors, is rich in antioxidants, vitamin K, iron, and particularly high in natural nitrates. It's widely regarded as a powerful ally for heart health and blood circulation. However, it's precisely this nitrate content that can turn spinach into a potential health hazard when reheated. When spinach is cooked and then reheated, its nitrates may undergo a dangerous chemical transformation. Under high heat a second time, nitrates can convert into nitrites and then into nitrosamines, a group of compounds recognized by international health agencies as potentially carcinogenic. This is especially concerning for older adults whose immune systems and detoxification functions are often compromised. A true story. Mrs. Nguyen Thi Man, 78, from Bien Hoa, lived with her grandson and often cooked a large pot of spinach soup to last for 2 to 3 meals. Each time she ate, she would reheat the entire pot in the microwave for even warmth. Over time, she began experiencing persistent headaches, nausea, poor digestion, and unexplained fatigue. When she visited the doctor, mild liver stress and elevated liver enzyme levels were detected. After reviewing her dietary habits, the culprit was narrowed down to her routine of reheating cooked spinach soup. Following medical advice, she changed her habit. Now she adds fresh spinach only after reheating a rest of the dish, allowing it to cook just enough without undergoing a second heating. Since then, her symptoms have gradually disappeared and her appetite has returned. Why are seniors especially vulnerable? The aging digestive system is less effective at handling chemical residues. The liver and kidneys, key detoxification organs, can become overwhelmed when nitrosamines are repeatedly consumed. Many older adults suffer from chronic conditions like high blood pressure, kidney disease, fatty liver, or diabetes, which can worsen with additional toxic burden. Safe tips for using spinach. Never reheat cooked spinach. If preparing a dish in advance, keep raw spinach separate and only add it after reheating the other ingredients. If spinach has already been cooked, refrigerate it promptly after cooling and consume it within 24 hours. It's best eaten cold or by reheating only the broth and adding fresh spinach afterward. Avoid microwaving spinach. Microwaves heat unevenly, which can cause parts of the spinach to overheat and accelerate harmful chemical changes. Spinach can be a nutritional powerhouse, but only when used properly. For seniors, eating is not just about nutrition, but safety. A small change in preparation can make a big difference in protecting digestive, liver, and kidney health. Don't let this healthy vegetable become the reason your body feels drained. Be mindful every time you reheat because health doesn't always give you a second chance. Eggs. When a golden source of nutrition becomes a digestive burden for seniors. Eggs, symbols of simplicity, nutrition, and ease of preparation, have long held a special place in the diets of older adults. Rich in high-quality protein, brain-boosting choline, vitamin B12, and healthy fats, eggs seem like the perfect choice for maintaining daily energy and wellness. However, what many people don't realize or often overlook is that reheating cooked eggs can turn this nutritious food into a digestive burden. The science behind it. When eggs are first cooked, their protein structures change from liquid to a firm, coagulated form, especially in egg whites. But reheating causes these proteins to become further denatured and harder to break down, especially for seniors who may have weaker digestive enzymes, slower bowel movements, or existing issues with the liver or stomach. The result? Indigestion, bloating, burping, nausea, and fatigue after meals. And that's not all. Prepared egg-based dishes like omelets, egg sandwiches, egg salads, or savory baked goods that are left at room temperature too long before refrigeration can become a breeding ground for foodborne bacteria such as Salmonella or Listeria. Once contaminated, reheating may not effectively kill these pathogens. A wake-up call. Mr. Nguyen Hu Duc, 74, from Tai Bing, used to prepare egg sandwiches on Sundays to last through the week. He would store 5 sandwiches in the fridge and microwave one each morning. At first, it seemed convenient and time-saving, but within a few weeks, he began experiencing bloating, morning nausea, and loss of appetite. Doctors diagnosed him with chronic digestive disorders due to repeated consumption of denatured proteins. Since then, Mr. Duck changed his routine. He now cooks fresh eggs every 2 days and eats them immediately or enjoys cold boiled eggs instead. His symptoms have disappeared and his appetite has returned. Safe egg tips for seniors. Always prepare fresh eggs whenever possible. Boiled, steamed, or pan-fried eggs are quick, easy, and ideal options. If storing cooked eggs, refrigerate within 1 hour of cooking, preferably in a sealed container. Consume within 24 hours and never leave cooked eggs at room temperature for extended periods. Avoid reheating eggs multiple times. Each reheating alters the protein further, increasing digestive strain. Opt for cold egg dishes like chilled boiled eggs or well-preserved egg salads, which are safer than reheated options. Eggs are truly a nutritional gift, but only when used correctly. Don't let this healthy food become the reason behind your post-meal fatigue. For seniors, every small decision in the kitchen can be a big step toward living a healthier, longer life. Beetroot, when a superfood becomes a double-edged sword for senior health. To many nutrition experts, beetroot is hailed as a superfood. Rich in nitrates, folate, antioxidants, and essential minerals like iron and manganese, it frequently appears in salads, soups, or nutritious juices. But behind its vibrant color and healthful reputation, beetroot can turn into a backstabbing superfood if not used properly, especially when reheated multiple times, which silently harms your liver and blood chemistry. A double threat: nitrosamines and iron overload. Beetroot contains high levels of nitrate, which the body converts into nitrite. When exposed to high heat again during reheating, nitrites can transform into nitrosamines, a class of compounds linked to increased risk of cancer and liver cell damage. But that's not the only concern. Beetroot also contains non-heme iron, which is more easily absorbed when paired with vitamin C. While this can benefit most people, it poses a hidden danger for seniors, especially those with conditions like hemochromatosis, iron overload disorder, or those already taking iron supplements. Excessive iron accumulation may lead to joint pain, fatigue, elevated liver enzymes, and tissue damage. A real-life case. Mrs. Lei Diem, 81, in Da Nang, used to reheat a small portion of cooked beetroot each morning to eat with bread and eggs. After about 3 months, she began experiencing persistent fatigue, mild joint pain, and loss of appetite. A medical check revealed abnormally high ferritin, iron storage levels, and early signs of fatty liver. Upon analyzing her diet, a nutritionist identified the likely cause. Repeatedly reheating beetroot several times a week had caused excessive iron absorption combined with the formation of harmful compounds from reheated nitrates. Following professional advice, she switched to a safer habit: eating beetroot cold or reheating it only once before consumption. Her symptoms gradually improved. Safe beetroot practices for seniors. Freeze. Eat cold or in salads, juices. This retains nutrients without triggering chemical changes. Repeat. If reheating is necessary, do it only once and eat immediately afterward. Never reheat repeatedly. Salt. Avoid combining reheated beetroot with foods high in vitamin C, like oranges, lemons, tomatoes. Ice. Always store cooked beetroot in a sealed container in the fridge and consume it within 48 hours. Best. Prefer using fresh beetroot, lightly steamed or roasted right before serving to preserve its full nutritional value. Beetroot is incredibly beneficial, but only when used properly. For seniors, the line between nutritious and harmful can be as thin as reheating one time too many. Foods seniors should reheat to boost benefits. The secret to golden age health starts in the kitchen. When it comes to reheating food, most people, especially seniors, tend to worry. Will it lose nutrients? Is it harmful? Will it cause bloating? These concerns are not unfounded, but they're also not always accurate. The truth is, not all foods become worse when reheated. In fact, certain dishes, when reheated properly, can actually be more beneficial for senior health. This story starts with a little-known factor: resistant starch, a special type of carbohydrate formed when certain starchy foods, like potatoes, brown rice, whole wheat pasta, lentils, are cooked, cooled, and then reheated. This cook, cool, reheat process changes the structure of the starch so that it's digested more slowly, providing the following benefits: reduces post-meal blood sugar spikes, supports a healthy gut microbiome, resistant starch acts as food for good bacteria, promotes longer-lasting fullness, aiding in weight control, helps relieve constipation, a common issue among older adults. Potatoes. Often blamed for weight gain, but when reheated correctly, they help stabilize blood sugar. After boiling, if potatoes are cooled in the fridge overnight and then reheated in the oven or gently steamed, their resistant starch content increases significantly. This stabilizes energy levels throughout the morning and reduces post-meal fatigue, ideal for those with pre-diabetes or type 2 diabetes. Brown rice. Not just fiber-rich, but more digestible when reheated. Brown rice, once cooked and properly stored, becomes easier to digest when reheated. It retains fiber while offering improved glycemic response, gentler on the stomach and blood sugar levels. Whole wheat pasta, a smart senior-friendly meal. Cooked pasta that's cooled and reheated the next day not only keeps its taste and texture, but also increases slow-digesting fiber. It's easy to prepare and pairs well with vegetables and olive oil for a complete, satisfying, low-glycemic meal. Lentils, chickpeas, kidney beans. Legumes, when cooked and cooled, don't lose nutrients upon reheating. In fact, soluble fiber and resistant starch levels increase, helping prevent constipation, regulate cholesterol, and maintain stable blood sugar levels. Safe reheating tips for seniors. Cool cooked food within 1 hour and refrigerate immediately. Reheat only once. Avoid repeated reheating. Heat thoroughly to at least 165 degrees 74 C to ensure food safety. Consume within 48 hours of refrigeration. Avoid adding excess oil, salt, or processed sauces when reheating to retain the food's original benefits. Aging doesn't mean meals must be bland or over-restricted. With a bit of knowledge, you can turn a reheated meal into a nourishing ally that strengthens your body day by day. Don't fear reheating. Learn to do it right, because every dish, when prepared with care, can be more than just food. It can be medicine for your body. Conclusion: senior health begins with how you reheat your food. Aging, marked by numerous biological changes in the body, not only requires eating nutritious foods, but also eating them the right way. Sometimes, what seems trivial, like the act of reheating, can unexpectedly impact your overall health. Cold food isn't just cooler in temperature. Its chemical and biological structure can change, and if not handled properly, it may even transform into something harmful. On the flip side, the right knowledge is the cheapest and most effective supplement you can ever have. If you're in your 60s, 70s, or beyond, it doesn't mean you must give up your favorite meals or cook every dish from scratch each time. Instead, befriend your refrigerator and your steamer. They can help protect your health with minimal effort. Remember, rice, spinach, eggs, and beetroot, when reheated improperly, can become dangerous for the digestive system, liver, and immunity. In contrast, potatoes, brown rice, lentils, and whole wheat pasta become even healthier when reheated correctly, supporting gut health, stabilizing blood sugar, and boosting energy levels. Warning: a few final things you should never forget. Cool cooked food quickly and refrigerate it within 60 minutes. Only reheat once. Avoid multiple rounds of heating. Always heat food to at least 165 degrees Fahrenheit, 74 C for safety. Do not consume food that's been stored for more than 24 to 48 hours, especially if it's already been reheated. And finally, don't be lazy, don't be careless, and don't cling to convenience if it risks your health. Food, when properly understood and handled, can be your closest ally in aging well. But if neglected, it can quietly become your greatest enemy, chipping away at your health one small meal at a time. Caring for your health doesn't have to start with supplements. Sometimes it starts with something as simple as reheating your food the right way. And you can begin that today.